Welcome to Worship Tutorials.
I never get to start videos.
Well, sorry.
This is my whole video.
Well, I have a story to tell about Bradford. This is it. The other day, Bradford and I built a helix patch for the song
As we do.
Same God
As we do.
by
Yes.
Elevation Worship.
Yes.
It's a brand new song. It's a bit funny. Somebody commented, finally.
Oh,
this
yeah.
song has been out
Something like 3 or 4 weeks. Not that long at
Yeah.
all.
Anyway, we made a helix patch for the song, and we were going to do a guitar playthrough. Well, I had never heard the song before. And Bradford, you didn't know the song. But in the span of like 2 hours, maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours, Bradford internalized the song on the electric guitar to the point where we were able to film a playthrough video and post it. And he didn't have music in front of him. He just played the song. So we thought it'd be cool for Bradford to go through his process of learning a new song on the guitar. And I know lots of you've asked this question many times. How do you learn new songs? How do you memorize songs? This is for you.
So as we said, I'm going to teach you just some of my best practices for learning songs. These may not be the most complex things, but they are things I do to make sure I can learn a song quickly and efficiently, not just a matter of just playing the song because it's how the song sounds. That, in my opinion, is when we lack confidence, when we are just trying to play the right notes as opposed to playing a song that we've internalized. That's when we start feeling nervous, or that's when we feel like we have to have a chart in front of us, or we don't really know how to do something extra or to play more than just the parts and all of that. So learning how to internalize a song is going to help with more than just learning songs more quickly. So the first point, this is very easy here. If you have a chart available to you, which I hope you do, I hope you're being resourced in that way. Worship leaders, I hope you are resourcing your teams in that way. Take a look at the song. Look at the chart, look at the chords, and look at each section of the song and take a quick inventory. You may have to write this down. Some of the stuff may need to be written down before you actually get comfortable with it and you get moving quick enough to not have to write it down. Take a look and write like a word bank, so to speak. You ever do a word search? Like a word search, there's like a word bank, and you know when you're looking in the word search, you know the words you're looking for. So do the same idea. Think of the music you're playing as a chord search. So write down the chords that you see in the song just when they occur. You don't need to like take a tally of how many times they occur. Just songs in the key of G. Oh, there's a G chord. There's a C chord, a D, an E minor. Okay? Do that and keep up with that. The next thing I would suggest is if there's like a random chord that only appears once or twice, like for instance, maybe there's an A minor, that'd be your 2 chord. We'll get to that part in a second. Keep stock of that and pay attention to each section of the song and what chords are in what section of the song. Because at that point, you're looking at 4 to 5 chords, maybe 6 max, maybe. And you're not trying to pull chords out of the air of like the 20, 30, whatever, how many chords you know. You know that in this song, there are 4 chords and that's it. They're in different orders, but that's a different thing. You'll get to that part. So it'll make songs easier, and especially if there's some odd chord occurrences. Maybe there's a flat 7, so in the key of G, we're talking about an F chord. All right, I'm gonna get to that kind of thing. If that kind of stuff is not making much sense, a suggestion I have too. This is a little different. This isn't directly correlated to learning a song, but it is. Spend some time learning some basic music theory, the Nashville number system. Music theory can be very scary because we think, at least in my mind, when I think music theory, I think of like jazz or I think of classical music. And I think there's no way that I can completely understand music theory in order to do that. When I say learn music theory and learn the Nashville number system, I mean, make sure you understand the notes that are in the key of G, A, B, C, D, E, G, whatever. Like those keys, those aren't the notes. Learn those keys. And then understand the fact that in every key, your 1, your 4, and your 5 is always major. Your 2, 3, and your 6 is always minor. And if you understand that, that's going to help. First off, that's just going to help you memorizing these chords. For me, memorizing these things by numbers way easier than it is to try to memorize them by the chord names, because instead of, is it A or A minor, it becomes way more natural. And so even though this is another step and this is another thing, if you spend some time doing that, all it is memorizing. It'll help a lot. This will just help if you're trying to get more comfortable on your instrument. Maybe you're not even feeling like you're that bad at learning songs. You feel pretty confident in that. Just knowing the Nashville number system and understanding how notes work and all will help tremendously. All right, so next, pretty simple point, may make sense, but if you can't hum the guitar part, or maybe you can't even just hum the chord progression, it's just like the note, the root note of the chord. If you can't hum da, 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 like if you can't hum the chord progression or the lead part you're supposed to be playing, it's gonna be very hard to play the dang part. I have found myself trying to learn a song that I just heard, or maybe I was sitting down and got a set list and I was immediately about to dive in, and that was the first time hearing the song, and now I'm sitting there trying to learn it, and it doesn't make sense to me. Like, I can't learn the song. So take time to just learn the song that way, by humming it back and humming it out loud, whatever. Because if you can't do that, then you're just wandering aimlessly. There's nothing you're shooting for. So give yourself a target, shoot for it, and you'll be able to do it. Doing this also, in line with this, work on your ear. That seems like a lot of people will say that they just don't have the ear. They just play the parts because they know the parts. And maybe they don't think they can train their ear. I would say that just with simple exercises, there are websites geared towards ear training. Something simple, like they play you a chord and all you identify is whether it's major or minor. Or they'll play you a few chords and all you identify is whether it's a 1, 4, 5, 6 chord, whatever. There are websites, try some of that out. Something I like to do, which helped my ear really well, is to pick out melodies of songs. If you're playing any song at all, just try to play the melody of the song and get comfortable and understand, like, okay, the notes are going up, the notes are going down. That seems like a big leap, that seems like a small leap. Those kind of things, a big interval, small interval. Those kind of things, just spend some intentional time working on your ear and helping your ear get better. That will help and pour into and flow into playing lead parts better. When it comes to leads as well, don't just play the right notes. Now, my suggestion is to understand what you're playing. I will admit and I will say I'm not always aware of, well, I just played a G, an F sharp, a C sharp, an A. Like, I don't mean like that. I mean, do not merely figure out where to play the guitar part on the neck. This actually could apply to other instruments. We're not just talking about guitar, but on guitar, for example, there are 6 strings, anywhere from 21 to 24 frets. Like, there are many places you can play a correct note. And you may not be playing the correct note for the key you're in, but you could probably still play the part, the song. It would be the right guitar part, but it may be in a different key. So you need to have some form of reference, some frame of reference for where your guitar part or the lead part is coming from. Something really easy for me is understanding just the idea of, let's use the key of A, for example, the A major scale and the relative minor, the F sharp minor, the pentatonic scale, and finding a way to put that guitar part in one of those 2 shapes. Or this is a D shape I'm utilizing, and we can link below to this video. I actually did a video showcasing some parts that I utilize, some shapes that I utilize regularly in worship. Really simple things. The idea of an inversion, the idea of a stripped back chord, the idea of a triad being placed in different places on the neck, all these things. Check out that video. There's also a video we talked about 5 tips to improve your guitar playing, like, immediately. Things that don't necessarily take a lot of practice. It's a shift in perspective and focus on how to play. Check that out. Those things I think would really help as well in conjunction with this video. But do not merely just play the part because it's right. Understand, give yourself some point of reference so you can see what method you are using, because, and this is how I do it, I know in my head, okay, I'm using a D shape to play this. And at that point, that at least helps me find a place to start. So again, I'll just use the A example. That means I'm gonna use the D shape, key of A. That means I'm gonna be rooted around the 10th fret, 9th and 10th fret. On the E, B, and the G string. So that gives me a form of reference. I'm not just pulling things out of the air. I'm not just saying, well, I know this correct note is on the 10th fret or whatever. Or I know I'm supposed to play a note. You know, you can go to that part. And when I look at a song, I'm looking at a song by the different shapes and methods I use, not just the exact notes to use. Because That's way easier than recalling what order to play notes in. And that's going to help as well when you transpose. Now, there are obviously going to be instances where you're now going to be needing to relocate drastically. You know, if you're playing a song in the key of B normally, you got to take it to A, that's just dropping down a little bit. You know, a big difference would be if you're playing a song in the key of A and now you're playing it in the key of E. You know, it's a big shift and it's a change in mindset. Or actually playing a song like the key of C and now having to play in the key of G. Your pentatonic is using open strings at that point, just things like that. And all of our brains work differently, so maybe that won't mess you up. But it's just frame of reference, getting an idea like where you're at so you can easily move things. And this means a chance to say as well, do not be afraid to use a capo. I don't care what people say. Capos are tools. A pick is a tool, a slide is a tool. The mutes that you see some players use to kind of keep strings dead, that's a tool. It's what helps us do what we do best. Utilize that. So that's it. We talked about the Nashville number system. We talked about the fact that just spending some time getting a basic knowledge of that's going to help tremendously. We talked about the fact that just taking a quick inventory of the chords in the song and how helpful that will be. Making sure you can hum the melody of the song or the melody of the parts you're playing or hum the chord progression, how easy that is. Learning your parts and shapes, not just learning the right notes because they are the right notes. Understand the why behind the what. Oh man, I feel I'm about to go preaching here. Why behind, also the iPad helps. That's it. These are all just my perspectives. Maybe you have a different tool, maybe you have a different system for learning songs. These are some great things that I use. Let us know in the comments if you got something similar that you do, or just maybe it's something really bizarre, you know, I don't know. That'd be cool. So let us know. Anyways, thanks for checking this out. Hope it helps. Hey, if it helps you, maybe you're a worship leader, if you think it'll help your team, please. I mean, I don't feel like we need to give you permission, but share that link. Like, subscribe, all of that. We'll see you next time. I have found myself trying to play a song and I'm just really, really lost if I haven't actually taken the time to... You guys are idiots. I tried so hard. I tried so hard, and then I was like, this is just gonna get worse and worse. We're wasting tape. Hey!
That's a YouTube story right there.
I dare you.